Yeah, we hurt people. We hurt people. You guys know that like dumbass song? The theme song for like whatever the Hurt Syndicate? It's just like a dude saying, we hurt people. Yeah, we hurt people. It's so lame. You know, whatever happened to good theme songs? But that's another video for another time, because welcome back, cucks. It's your boy, the Hater, and we're going to talk about something called the other side of the coin. We've been putting a lot of emphasis on the work of John Cena. However, you know, we need to talk about the other side of the equation. You know, the reason why this is all happening in the first place, right? This is Cody Rhodes, and he completely sucks. You know what I mean? I gotta double down on this because some new considerations have popped into my mind that are based on recently developed events in the WWE. First of all, a lot of people back in the day were pissed off when Jinder Mahal got a push out of nowhere. Nobody was pissed off when Cody Rhodes got a push out of nowhere. Now, I know what some are thinking. Well, Cody Rhodes was over on AEW. Nobody gives a shit. AEW is smaller than NXT. Okay? Nobody cares at all about what happens in AEW. And nobody cares at all if Cody Rhodes went to New Japan and wrestled some other 5'1" midget. You know what I mean? Nobody cares at all. The reality is, the same thing that happened to Jinder Mahal happened to Cody, with the notable difference that Jinder Mahal, at the end of the day, was someone that, like, you know, worked hard on his physique and came back looking completely different, like a different person altogether, cuckolds. Now, with that being said, we need to talk about Cody's role, if you will, in this situation, you know, in this storyline and in the build-up to this match. So, all of this is for Cody, you know. The last 3 years had been for Cody, let's be honest, right? When Roman Reigns beat Cody at WrestleMania 39, that already was for Cody. He lost, and that was the point. The point was Cody Rhodes has failed in finishing his story, which means, of course, the story will continue. There's a common theme that connects everything that I'm going to say right now, and that theme is laziness, but more on that in a little bit. So then after this, WrestleMania 40 is obviously all about Cody, right? The Rock is in there, but it's all there to push Cody to the moon, right? To create a new star. Now, obviously, the star they chose to create was the wrong guy, because Cody Rhodes has very few redeemable qualities. Cody Rhodes is a living contradiction. He is a hypocrite, and he is a cuck. So, we're going to go over all of those. Living contradiction, and also hypocrite, because those are synonyms, cucks. Cody Rhodes is full of shit, right? First of all, he starts AEW, and he becomes this social justice warrior type motherfucker, right? When Val Venus, who retweeted one of my videos, by the way, when Val Venus was saying how Nyla Rose should be booked, Cody Rhodes' response was like, we're never going to have a spot for Val Venus in AEW. Like, Val Venus gives a fuck about that. He was a star when being a star mattered. But anyways, the point is, he had a persona, right? And part of that persona was, I don't deserve to be world champion if I don't win it against Jericho. He loses against Jericho, so he becomes like the TV champion. And then the storyline becomes, I'm still the most important guy here, right? Because titles don't matter. I don't care if you're the world champion, or not. If you're closing the show every night and you're not the world champion, you're the most important guy on the show, you know? And Cody Rhodes was getting a lot of opportunities in AEW, right? Now, the fans, who, I hate to say it, but the AEW fans are a little bit smarter than the WWE fans. The AEW fans were like, oh, fuck this guy. This guy sucks. All he does is come by and put himself over in his boring suit promos. Basically, they realized, not as quick as the Hater and all of you, but they realized quicker than the WWE fans, who are going to realize in the next few months, you know, right on schedule. But the idea is this, right? We have the cuckster himself, Cody Rhodes, coming out and cutting promos about himself, right? This self-absorbed ass drops in his promos little hints as to how great he thinks he is. Like, he'll say things like, you know, one day, if I'm lucky enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But it's like, he's saying it in a way where the implication is like, I'm going to be in the Hall of Fame because I'm good enough to be in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's ridiculous. Taka Michinoku would never be given the opportunity to use the mic to say that, even though Taka Michinoku deserves to be in the Hall of Fame because he has entertained me far more than Cody Rhodes. But that's neither here nor there. The point is, the cuckster himself kept going about this. Kept going on and on and on about how, like, his daughter is, like, half black. And, you know, America allows for interracial marriage, right? And he was saying this in a feud with a guy who is half black himself from England, you know what I mean? But anyways, like all this self-congratulatory shit eventually hit the fan, right? And the fans of AEW were like, yo, fuck this guy. Then the cuckold, like, meanwhile, while he's in AEW, he takes all these little cheap shots at WWE. I can't believe that people like Cody Rhodes and CM Punk are being rewarded for this shit. Absolutely not. Know your role and shut your mouth. But anyways, then Cody comes to the WWE, right? And we remember how he was before he left. He was the exact same thing. The only difference was his hair color, 2 shitty dumbass tattoos, and of course, now he has the American flag everywhere because he's the American Nightmare, you know? First of all, the American Nightmare is just a horrible ass moniker for a wrestler, right? Especially when your father's the American Dream. Now, this brings me to my second part of this first point. We have a situation of more hypocrisy. Cody Rhodes, his entire reality, his entire existence is predicated exclusively upon the fact that he is the son of Dusty Rhodes, right? He has abused at this point his father's memory on a near weekly basis. All this guy does, or did, for the last few years is come out and complain how Dusty Rhodes was held back, right? We've heard this before, and how much he suffered, right? It's like, honestly, if you really think about it, on its face, he pretty much only says bad things about Dusty. He says my father was a jobber who was held back, and he says my father couldn't provide, so the electricity would come off, right? He never says I'm proud of him, you know? Maybe he's mentioned it once or twice. That's just more like implied, right? But the point is, he comes out there and oftentimes talks about how Dusty was like held down and how the Rhodes family was held down, right? He did this during his feud with the Shield, with Goldust, right? Now, with all that being said, right, we have that situation, and then fast forward to yesterday, or a couple of days ago, I should say, he comes out and he has the nerve, the gall to say that John Cena complains. Is this retarded or is this extremely retarded? Who the fuck wrote the promo exchange between Cucky and John Cuck? Who did it? You know? Who is responsible for this garbage? This is literally the first time Cena has complained about anything. Anything, motherfuckers. If that's the whole point. In 25 years, Cena is finally complaining. He has been the consummate employee. He has been an incredible role model as to what a worker should be and what a wrestler and what a celebrity should be. In kayfabe and outside, but definitely in kayfabe at least. Right? He hasn't complained once. Cena has fought everybody. If you want some, come get some, right? He's done it all. And now he complains one time. And Cody Rhodes comes out and calls him a whiny bitch. Are you fucking kidding me? This is actually making me angry. Cody Rhodes has complained for 15 years. All this cocksucker has done is complain and bitch and moan. Oh, my dad was treated like a jobber. Your dad was a fat loser who couldn't draw a dime today. That's the reality, or in the Attitude Era. He is overrated in every aspect. He's like this fucking idiot who comes out, dances like a fat bastard. He's not charismatic like they tell us he is. He's just a fat guy who dances, and he's not embarrassed of this. He's out there wearing police hats and other goofy ass shit, dressing like Madonna while being 400 pounds. Then I have to hear about how good he was at booking and how good he was backstage. Isn't he the guy behind the Shock Trooper incident? Right? Isn't he the guy that was like the godfather of NXT? Didn't Xavier Woods learn a lot from him? Right? And other people like that? Well, what did they learn? Because they're boring as shit. What did Dusty Rhodes teach Dusty's kids? Right? Did he teach Seth Rollins to dress like a woman? Because he didn't make him entertaining. And I'm fucking tired of this Dusty Rhodes like extravaganza, right? The WWE does this all the time. They take a jobber from back in the day and then they present him now retroactively, gaslighting everyone into thinking he was a big deal. Nobody gives a shit about Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes hasn't been relevant for like 40 years. And when he was, he never became WWE champion, right? So what the fuck is this? Same thing, I'm playing WWE 2K25, right? I played it one more time, aside from my stream, right? And I see I'm scrolling through the roster, and it's like High Chief Peter Maivia, 87. What? High Chief Peter Maivia is an 87? In 87, I can't name one match this cocksucker's been in. He's in 87 because he's The Rock's father. You know what I mean? Nobody gave a shit about this guy. Was he ever a world champion? Was he ever WWE champion? Was he ever WCW champion? You know, if he wasn't, then I don't really give a flying fuck. You know? It's as simple as that. Now, I know some of you are going to get upset. Oh, hater, these guys are dead. Why are you talking shit? Because I don't care if they're dead or not, right? I respect the dead, and I respect these people too for their accomplishments. But I'm tired of being told that these guys should have been world champions. You know? When Cody Rhodes says the Rhodeses are held down, he implies that Dusty Rhodes, a 400-pound ugly guy, should have been world champion. Because he could dance and wear polka dots. Oh, he got over the polka dots. I don't give a flying fuck. What do you think of them apples? Dusty Rhodes is getting the payment for his hard work through the nepotism of his mediocre son, main eventing now 3 WrestleManias in a row. The mediocre Rhodes, Stardust himself, can't cut a fucking promo to save his life. And when I say can't cut a promo, I'm talking about a promo that excites and invigorates the people, right? Cody Rhodes can grab a microphone and talk out of his ass about how interracial marriages are great because you can have them in America, which is retarded, right? And quite frankly, racist, right? But irrespective of that, Cody Rhodes doesn't engage. First of all, he has a massive lisp. Casual Q put up a video, like a YouTube short type thing, where he's just like laughing. It's hilarious. He's laughing at Cody Rhodes cutting a promo with a lisp. Like, what the fuck? Cody Rhodes like, is this the Cena that I'm gonna fight at WrestleMania? Shut the fuck up. Who gave this asshole a microphone? You know? Then in the ring, he does like 3 moves. He's not entertaining. He literally is Jey Uso. Like, a lot of people are like, I can't believe Jey Uso's over. He is Jey Uso. He has 3 moves, right? He has the same cadence in delivering a promo. I mean, Jey Uso does the yeet thing, but you know what I mean. I would put him right there with Jey Uso in terms of promo ability. And then he has an entrance. That's all he is. He has a hype entrance, and that's pretty much all Cody Rhodes is. That's all you need nowadays, by the way. But the point is, you know, while John Cena, in my personal opinion, needs to get the brunt of the criticism primarily because he is John Cena, right? Like, it's like you expect more from John Cena. I don't expect shit from Stardust. It's Stardust, you know? He's doing the best that Stardust can do, you know? Which is obviously not that good because, you know, he's Stardust. So, but with that being said, like, Cody Rhodes is not without fault, motherfucks. Cody Rhodes is still Cody Rhodes. He's still the guy that now has had 3 years of legitimate big-time exposure as a main eventer in the WWE, right? So I expect this guy to hold his own. I expect this guy to be consistent in his promos, right? Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, hater, the writers wrote the promo. I don't care. I'm blaming Cody Rhodes similar to how people unjustifiably blame waiters when the food is not good at a restaurant, right? The waiter didn't cook it, but I don't care. The waiter presented it to me, right? He's the face of the operation. So I'm going to complain to him, right? Same thing. Cody Rhodes having the nerve to say Cena's a whiny bitch. Cody Rhodes, like 40% of his promos are him crying. He's the whiniest bitch of all time. Like, literally, there is an argument to be made that Cody Rhodes is the whiniest character of all time in wrestling. Certainly the whiniest world champion. So with that being said, Cucks, we have to hold this motherfucker accountable. He is a massive hypocrite, a walking contradiction. And on top of all of that, he's a cuck. Because when he does have free reign to say what he wants, let's assume that that's what happened in AEW, because that was the whole point of AEW, right? The wrestlers can be creative. He was the same character sucked, and he cut cringe promos one after the other. As a matter of fact, when Cody Rhodes was allowed to be himself, he was booed mercilessly, and he did a John Cena thing. He was like, I do it for the people. They bought a ticket, so I'm gonna, like, you know, respect their opinion, and I'm not turning heel. Like, it's fucking the same shit, you know? So, especially considering all that, Cody should be able to empathize with John Cena, but he doesn't. Instead, he calls him a whiny bitch. Imagine if when Cody Rhodes was saying, like, my father died, imagine if someone instead came and said, yo, you know what? With all due respect to your father's memory, because he is dead, and we shouldn't talk shit about the dead, but your father was a nobody. Simple as that. He was a fucking Nobody. Do you understand me? Nobody gave a shit about him. Oh, Georgia Southwestern Wrestling. Dusty Rhodes was a local hero. I don't care. I don't care. Patrick Clark was a local hero at Maryland Championship Wrestling. And like, you know, fucking, what's his face? What's his name? Oney Lorcan was like, whatever the fuck his name was. Oney Lorcan was like a hero in like Jersey Pro Wrestling or whatever, right? Drew Gulak was like the CCW champion, you know? But nobody cares. They're not big time by any means. That being said, cucks, take care of yourselves, fuck your own mothers, and Hater has spoken.